If you've ever found yourself wondering which camera should I invest in for my content, then this video is exactly what you're looking for. So make sure you subscribe, stick around, and drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts.
Down the road, watch me as I go, watch me as I go.
Today we're going to be diving into 3 of the best cameras on the market right now for content creation, vlogging, and bringing your videography dreams to life. So make sure you stick around, give the video a big thumbs up, and stay tuned for the entire video, where I'll be showing you a comparison between all 3 cameras. That way you can make the best decision for you. So hey my babies, and welcome back to another video. I've been waiting to put this video up on my channel until I absolutely knew which camera was the best in my humble opinion and based on the specs of each and every camera. But before I could do this, I had to go through and test out each and every camera to its fullest capacity before I brought this information to y'all so that you can make your own choice. Trust me when I say I get it. Choosing the right camera can feel so overwhelming with all the options currently on the market right now. And this video is going to help you narrow down exactly what you're looking for, especially when you want something reliable for all of your projects like get ready with me, sit down videos, product reviews, vlogs, and much more. So let me just start off by saying the camera you pick doesn't just affect how your videos look. It shapes your entire filming experience from the setup time down to the filming ease. Today I'm diving into a detailed comparison, 3 of the most popular cameras in the creative space right now: the Canon G7X Mark II, the Sony ZV-E10, and the Osmo Pocket 3. I've spent so many months, and for some of them even years, testing them out. That way I can make sure I'm giving you the best insights possible. Whether you're a beginner looking for something simple or a seasoned creator wanting to upgrade your gear, I'll break down everything perfectly, from the technical specs, practical usability, pros and cons, and who each camera is really perfect for. If you see me looking down, I do have notes here on my iPad to make sure that I don't miss any of the important details that you need to know about each of these cameras. Plus at the end, I'm going to be showing you a side-by-side footage comparison of each of the cameras, including the audio, the camera footage, the quality, and the stabilization. That way you don't have to go through this process guessing, and you'll have the real-time fact. No more guessing. You'll get the full comparison. That way you can choose which camera is going to work best for you, because the camera that works best for me might not be the best camera for you, and we need to make that clear. So make sure you stay tuned to the end. That way you can see the full comparison and decide which camera is going to work best in your creator journey. So make sure you get comfortable, grab your favorite drink, open your notes app, grab your notebook, whatever you need, because I'm about to lay out all the juicy details you need to know before you decide on the perfect camera. So with each camera, I'll make sure to go through the full specs that I think you should know before we get into the details of the camera. So we're going to be starting off with a classic favorite, which is the Canon G7X Mark II. I do have the camera right here so that you can see. So currently it does have an extension lens on it, so this is not how the camera would come, but just to kind of give you an idea of what the camera is looking like, this is the Canon G7X Mark II. Now, like I said, I do have my iPad right here just to make sure I'm giving you all the details and we're not missing anything. So this camera includes a 1-inch sensor with a 1080p resolution. This camera does not currently film in 4K, unfortunately, but it still will give you that crisp image that you're looking for. It does include a 3-inch flip-up touchscreen to make accessing and managing certain menus so much easier. It includes optical image stabilization, and it does have a built-in microphone. And the weight of this camera is approximately 304 grams, which is not heavy at all. Since I do have like a lens extension on here, it makes it a little bit heavier, but overall not a bad camera to carry around while you're vlogging. So let's go ahead and get into the camera. If you've been around in the YouTube or vlogging community for a while, this camera probably really rings a bell because it is one of the most common vlogging and creator cameras that's out there. It's been a staple for creators for years, and honestly, I see why. This was one of the first cameras I got when I first became a creator, and overall, I really loved it. When I first began my content creation journey, this was one of the first cameras I got, and it's held up remarkably well even up until 2025. So it's definitely not a camera that I would completely disregard because it's lasted this long and it still creates remarkable content. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the specs. So it has a 20.1 megapixel 1-inch sensor, and it shoots full HD 1080p video. Now the first thing you'll probably notice is that it doesn't film in 4K, which can feel just a little bit limiting if you're craving ultra high resolution footage. But here's the thing, the image quality is super sharp, the colors are vibrant, and the 1-inch sensor really helps in those low light situations where you might not have the light you're looking for, but you still want at least somewhat good quality videos. For those sit down videos or the cozy lifestyle content, it's more than enough to get you exactly what you're looking for in your content. Not to mention the flip up screen is absolutely amazing. Whether you're doing sit down videos, makeup content, or just a little daily vlog, the flip up screen comes in clutch. Being able to see yourself while you're filming makes all the difference, let me tell you. Plus, the controls for this camera are like super straightforward. you don't have to be a tech wizard in order to operate this camera or even get good quality footage. Aside from that, the autofocus is super reliable after all of these years, which is just a tad bit surprising, but honestly, when it comes to the Canon G7X, nothing surprises me anymore. Now let's talk about the lens. It is a fixed lens, so that means you're limited to the built-in zoom that comes with the camera, but don't be discouraged. You can always invest in a lens extension tube, which is kind of like what I have on the camera currently. So if we go ahead and take this off, you'll see, let me turn the camera on. You'll see that this is the built-in lens that comes with the camera. You don't have the option to replace the current lens of the camera, but that's where the lens extension tube from Neewer comes into play. You will get this ring here, and this allows you to attach a lens. Personally, I invested in this lens because it was a wide angle lens and I wanted a bit of a wider point of view on the camera. And so I came across this on Amazon. I personally use the one from Neewer, and it is a honest game changer. I will be sure to link it down in the description. That way, if you want to head over to Amazon and purchase it yourself, you will have that option. This one specifically did come with, it came with a wide and macro conversion lens. So the actual lens on the top does screw off, and it gives you the option between a wide angle lens and a macro conversion lens. So if you've been interested in this camera, but the idea of a fixed lens is just kind of like throwing you off, keep in mind that an extension tube is always a great option in case you want to add like a wide angle lens to it. Now, portability is another huge plus for this camera. Aside from the extension lens, this camera will fit perfectly into any small purse or bag with ease. And due to the compact size, you don't have to worry about it weighing you down. Now, some of the biggest caveats for this camera are there's no external mic input. So all of the audio is recorded on the internal microphone, which honestly, if you're putting the footage into a editing software such as CapCut, Final Cut Pro, or any of those programs, you'll have the option to edit the audio post-filming or post-production to make sure like you're getting the audio you're looking for. Now, this is not a stellar microphone, but it does help to get the job done. As mentioned before, this camera does not film in 4K. It only films in 1080p. So that means you're not going to get the ultra crisp footage you're looking for with this camera. But like I said, in post-production, you do have the option of editing your videos to make that footage look even more clear. And for a beginner, this is perfect if you're just looking for footage that is going to get you to that next step in your creator journey. If you go look back at some of the videos on my channel, a lot of those first few videos were filmed with this camera and they turned out perfectly fine. So for the beginners or the creators who want a simple camera without a lot of fuzz that doesn't require like super wizardry technical skills, this is honestly a good go-to camera. All in all, the Canon G7X Mark II is super dependable. If you want a camera that's easy to use, super portable, and perfect for just casual vlogging style videos or even some of those sit-down videos, the Canon G7X Mark II is super reliable, and I would highly recommend. Now, currently this camera does retail for around $749 to $750, somewhere in that range. So you're still looking at under that $800 mark, depending on where you buy the camera from. You have retailers such as Amazon, Best Buy that have this camera, and usually you can find it in stock somewhere, but due to the demand of the camera, I have seen the prices go up over the years. So if you want to grab yours, make sure you do that as soon as possible before the price goes up anymore. Now let's go ahead and get into a more advanced option. I cannot physically grab this camera and show y'all this camera in my hand because this is the camera that we are currently filming on. Yes, see, you guessed it, it is the Sony ZV-E10. Now you'll see a lot of creators with this camera because it is quite impeccable, and I could not create a comparison video without mentioning this camera. Now the reason it took me so long to make this video is because I just recently got this camera back in December, and I wanted to spend a few months using this camera before I did a full-blown comparison between the three cameras. So you're getting my full-blown honest opinion. Now this camera does include a 24.2 megapixel sensor, and it does film in 4K. So if you're a girly that was like, 1080p is okay, but I want something 4K, this camera definitely films in 4K. Now if you were to buy the kit lens or like the creator bundle for this camera, you will be getting the 16 to 50 millimeter lens, which has an f-stop of 3.5 to 5.6. This camera also includes a 3.5 millimeter external microphone input option, as well as an internal microphone for you to record on. So if you want to use the internal mic, you can. If you want to attach an external mic, you also have that option. Now if you're a person that wants to take your content creation more seriously, have more control over your videos, your photos, your shots in general, I highly recommend this camera. This camera is an absolute powerhouse. It's a part of Sony's lineup designed with creators, vloggers, people just like you and me in mind, which means that a lot of the features are built around people just like you and me. Now, since this camera does include a 24.2 megapixel sensor, it is bigger than the sensor that is on the Canon G7X Mark II, which is a 1-inch sensor. Now, if you're not a tech wizard and you're wondering what that means, it simply means you get more detail, more depth of field control, and improved low light performance. Not to mention the ability to swap out lenses on this camera is a huge bonus. Currently, I'm filming with the kit lens, which is the 16 to 50 millimeter lens, which is perfect for everyday shooting, vlogs, sit-down videos, pretty much anything you can think. But if you want something that's more of a wide angle or a macro lens, then that's something you'll need to invest in separately or just buy the body of the camera. Honestly, if you're looking for something wide angle with that dreamy cinematic type look, I highly recommend the 𝑣𝒐𝒐 20mm wide angle lens. Now this is a f/.18 lens and it's reasonably priced, to be honest. Currently it retails at around $176. Under $200 is honestly pretty good for a 20mm lens. Now the 𝑣𝒐𝒐 lens will help to like elevate your depth of field and help objects shown in your video, whether that's a person, an item, really just pop and stand out from their background. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, I'll be sure to link that lens down in the description. That way if you currently have this camera or you buy this camera, you'll just kind of know what lenses to go for and which lenses to steer away from. I've done my research on these lenses and honestly 𝑣𝒐𝒐 has a lot of really good reviews. So like I said, I'll make sure that I link the Amazon product link down in the description. That way if you want to purchase, you can. Now as I mentioned, this camera does shoot in 4K, so the ability to crop and zoom in post-production allows you to do so without losing your camera quality or your video quality. So just like the Canon G7X had the flip up screen, the Sony does have a flip out screen, so it flips out to the side instead, allowing you to always see yourself, make sure you're in frame, make sure you're seeing what you need to see while you're filming, and always getting the perfect shot. As I mentioned, this camera does include the option to add an external microphone, which gives you the option to use a microphone like Rode or another shotgun microphone, whichever of your choice. I'll make sure that I link a couple of those down in the description as well, but Rode will always be one of the top external microphones that you can use. And let's be honest, that makes a huge difference for viewers that are currently watching your videos, even for yourself if you just want to enhance your video quality. I personally do not use an external microphone because I don't feel it's necessary, but the only reason I don't feel it's necessary is because I edit the sound quality of my videos in post-production. That way I don't have to get an external microphone. But if we're being honest, I've been looking into an external microphone, so I'll likely get one here shortly. More than likely I'll end up going with a Rode microphone, but whichever microphone you choose to go with is completely up to you. And the camera also comes with the like sound muffler to help just kind of tone out the sound of wind, tone out those background noises, and give you just a much more smooth, crisp sound. Now the autofocus on this camera is another huge highlight. I did just want to point that out. It's insanely good. You can set this up to track your face, your eyes, and even tiny movements like a makeup brush or a remote control that you maybe pick up. Let's see, maybe I can show y'all right now. So y'all see how this immediately focused on the remote, back focused on me, focused on the remote, back on me. So yeah, the autofocus keeps your videos sharp, keeps everything in focus and looking as clear as possible. It's perfect for those like fast-paced type of videos where you want to keep things in focus quickly and effortlessly, because let's be honest, when you're filming, you don't have time to like sit there and focus on focus. So the more work you can get your camera to do and stay in focus, the less work you have to do. Now, despite all the features I've just mentioned, the Sony ZV-E10 is not bulky. It's very much lightweight, easy to carry, and intuitive to use at that. The menus are user-friendly, so even if you're not like this big tech wizard, it's honestly not that hard to figure out. There are a ton of YouTube videos out there that walk you through each and every setting. If y'all would like to see a video of like my current settings, what I use, how I have everything set up when I'm filming, drop a comment down below and I'll try to do that as one of my next videos, just to kind of like give y'all behind the scenes in case you're considering this camera as your next camera. I see this camera as the ideal camera for creators who want like that more polished and professional look without having to one, break the bank, and two, spend 10 hours setting it up. Now, I will say that this camera is definitely an investment. The body does run around $700 alone, and based on which lens you go with, you could be looking at another $100 to $300. If you choose to go with a wide angle lens, you could be looking at another $500. However, the 𝑣𝒐𝒐 lens I mentioned, like I said, is currently retailing for $176, so that is an option for a wide angle lens that's under $200 if that's something you're interested in. But let's be honest, the upgrade in quality and flexibility is 100% worth it if you're really looking to grow as a creator and expand your personal brand and your content. Now, to wrap up this section, I will say that the Sony ZV-E10 perfectly merges ease of use, affordability, and professional grade features, making it the perfect choice for creators that are willing to make that investment to level up their content and grow as a creator. Now, last but not least, let's go ahead and move on to one of the most common cameras right now that you're seeing all over TikTok, all over YouTube, all over social media in general, and that is going to be the Osmo Pocket 3. Now, currently I do have like a battery handle extension attached to this, so when you buy this camera, this is how it looks. And like I said, I have a battery handle attachment attached to it just to kind of give me a bit more of that width I'm looking for, and also add the external like battery life to the camera to make it last just a little bit longer than it should. Now this little camera is powerful. Honestly, when you look at it, you wouldn't think so, but it is really, really good. Now you might just think this is a cute little gadget, but don't be fooled. This camera literally packs a serious punch when it comes to the content creation world. Now one of its most common and standout features is the 3-axis gimbal stabilization. That's not a word. The 3-axis gimbal stabilization. Now if you're not a tech wizard and you're like, Jay, what does that mean? That means you're gonna get buttery smooth footage whether you're walking, running, jumping, or just laying around. If you hate shaky videos or you struggle with like those bulky gimbals, this is honestly a game changer for you because your footage is always going to be stabilized due to the built-in stabilization. You can literally move around all you want while you're filming. You can do like this, it doesn't matter. Your videos are going to stay consistently smooth and professional. Now this does feature a 1-inch sensor, which is the same as the Canon G7X Mark II, but one major difference here is this camera does film in 4K while the Canon G7X Mark II does not. Now what does that mean? That means you're going to get sharp, vibrant footage every single time. I literally use this camera for just about everything, and its ability to film in vertical and horizontal formats makes filming so much easier. Typically, if I'm filming a horizontal or YouTube video on this camera, I will be filming the same exact video on this camera for Instagram or TikTok. And just to give y'all a close-up look, this is how the screen looks when you're filming vertically, and all you have to do is turn the screen like this, and it's gonna start filming in a horizontal format. So once you turn the screen back like this, you're gonna have the vertical format, and once you flip the screen like this, it's automatically going to switch to a horizontal format. That's just kind of what that looks like. Currently I have a little DJI sticker on there, but you can use this to turn the camera around. And another huge plus about this camera is you can literally control it from your iPad, whatever you want to use, thanks to the DJI app that you can download. You can also set this camera up to automatically track your face, so if you have it sitting on a tripod and you move, the gimbal is going to follow you. So the camera is going to track you from here to here, and it's going to move on its own without you touching it. And honestly, there's not many cameras that offer that, because not all cameras come with the 3-axis gimbal stabilization built in, and that allows it to just simply move around as it pleases and track you, basically, is what it is. It's a tracker. Let me see if I can show y'all a quick little example. Okay, so tracking is on, and if y'all watch, you'll see the camera follows me as I move. Let me turn it around. Okay, so all you have to do is double tap your face, and then you'll see as I move, the camera will move with me. Even if I pull the camera down here, you're gonna see it follows me no matter where I move the camera or no matter where I move. And honestly, that's definitely a pro feature that you're not going to get from a lot of cameras, because most cameras are just like stable cameras. They don't have the ability to move and track you unless you like have a third-party gimbal attached to them. That is one of those features that I think is highly, highly remarkable about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I also want to mention that the interface to use the camera is super intuitive and simple to learn. So if you want to be able to navigate through the menus, adjust the exposure, or access the D-Log settings for those who like to color grade their videos, you'll honestly find this to be such a breeze. You can also buy magnetic accessories for this camera, such as a mount, a cage, and even like additional lenses. So this could be like a wide angle lens or an ND filter to kind of just like put sunglasses on the camera when you're in super, super bright areas. If you want to learn more about those type of filters, you can easily just search them up on Amazon as well as YouTube, and you'll just kind of see more of a behind the scenes of those lenses. I will say, if you're a creator who's like always on the move, you don't like carrying heavy or bulky or just any camera at all, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is literally probably going to be the best camera for you, because it's so lightweight, it's so compact, it's so easy to use, easy to carry, that you honestly just can't go wrong with it. Now, I will say that the audio quality on the Osmo Pocket 3 is just a bit more limited than that on the Sony ZV-E10. If you're curious how the Sony ZV-E10 sounds, like I said, this video is currently being filmed on the Sony ZV-E10, so that should just kind of give you some type of idea of how good the audio quality is. DJI does also offer a external microphone that you can get to go with the Osmo Pocket 3. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll make sure that I also link that down in the description for those of you that might want it, might be interested, or you're just kind of curious about it. Currently, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is retailing for around $800 at places like Target, or just a little bit more around the $900 to $975 range at places like Best Buy if you were to get the combo or the bundle, which includes the extended battery handle as well as the microphone that I mentioned. So if you're a person that wants the like whole creative bundle, you can pay around $979, so a little bit less than $1,000, and you can get all of those accessories. And if you just only want the camera, you can pay around $799 and get just the camera. So overall, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is perfect for those creators who want to prioritize mobility, move around with ease without sacrificing video quality. It's fun, versatile, and honestly really powerful for its size. So do not underestimate the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 when you're out here searching for the best camera for your content creation journey. All right, so now we're gonna get into the moment you've been waiting for, which is the side-by-side comparison of the footage from all three cameras. Okay, so currently, as you'll see here, I have all three cameras set up to film the same exact thing. That way you can kind of get a look at the image quality, the audio. All of these cameras are set up on different settings, so you will see that some of them will vary a bit in the way they look, the way they sound, the way they autofocus. For example, let's go ahead and we'll do the autofocus test with the remote. So here's the autofocus on the Sony ZV-E10. And then the autofocus on the Osmo Pocket 3. And then the autofocus on the Canon G7X Mark II. And then if you take a look, currently it seems that the Osmo Pocket 3, which is the camera here in the middle, likely appears to have the brightest footage overall. However, I will say that on the Sony ZV-E10, I currently have the ISO turned down a bit just to kind of give more of a darker type of vibe and just kind of like set that cinematic type of tone. Whereas you'll see on the Canon G7X Mark II, everything just kind of appears to be a bit more brighter. Like I said, this is due to like the different settings that I have set up on each camera. So here's a close-up on the Canon G7X Mark II, a close-up on the Osmo Pocket 3, and a close-up on the Sony ZV-E10. Now, I will say that my overall favorite camera will always be the Sony ZV-E10 due to the ability to change out the lenses. As for like mobility, compatibility, ease of use, I will always recommend the Osmo Pocket 3. And just for overall like better vibe when it comes to a person wanting to get started with content creation and or just still like give that professional type of vibe to their videos, I will always recommend starting with the Canon G7X Mark II. So if you're a beginning creator and you're looking for something to start with, I would recommend starting with the Canon G7X Mark II or the Osmo Pocket 3. If you're a beginning creator or a seasoned creator looking for something to start with, but you want the option to invest in like those different lenses, the Sony ZV-E10 is going to be the way to go because you cannot change the lens on the Canon G7X Mark II other than the option of the lens extension tube. This is how all of the cameras look when you compare them side by side, and I'm excited to know which camera you end up going with. So if you do decide to pick from one of these three cameras, be sure to drop a comment down below. Okay, so we've switched back to the Sony ZV-E10. In the end, the comparison of all these cameras is all about what you prioritize and what's most important to you, because what's most important to you might not be most important to me, might not be most important to them, but it's all about what you're looking for, what you prefer in a camera, and what you want to get started with or use next. If you're looking for that cinematic quality and like crisp, clear audio, go with the Sony ZV-E10. If you're looking for simplicity, warm, and quality video, go with the Canon G7X Mark II. And if you're looking for the mobility and stabilization that comes with the videos, especially if you're a daily vlogger, go with the Osmo Pocket 3. You honestly cannot go wrong with the stabilization on that camera, let me tell you. Hopefully seeing these differences side by side helps you decide which camera you want to move forward with and which camera works best for you. But overall, that's going to be a wrap on this ultimate camera creator showdown to see which one is best, which one looks best, which one works best. Honestly, they're all really amazing cameras, and I still use them all to this day. If you're still unsure about what camera you want to go with, just think about your content and what's most important to you. Also, keep in mind the budget. All these cameras are somewhat similar in their price range. While some may be a little bit more, some may be a little bit less, they are all very similar. Because let's be honest, investing in the right camera right now can save you a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of frustration later down the road. Let me tell you, I learned this the hard way. Now that we've gotten that all out the way, I would love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what your current camera is, your current setup, how you film, and what camera you're thinking about going with and why. Also, don't forget to check the description box. Every single thing I mentioned in this video will be linked down below. That way, if you want to purchase it, take a look at it, save it for later, you will have that option. I've linked all the cameras, lenses, accessories, and every single thing you could ever need down in the description. So you can easily explore what fits your needs and go with what's best for you. Do not let someone talk you into a camera that you do not want just because it's the popular camera right now. I have 3 of the most popular cameras on the market currently, and none of them are bad options, to be honest. So make sure you take your time, do your research, and invest in a camera that is going to work best for you. Overall, if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, drop a comment down below, make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this, along with my vlogs, fashion content, lifestyle content, and even more technical talk. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications. That way you'll be notified every single time I post a video and you don't miss any of this greatness. But until next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye.